On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony swings for the fences, Ethan tries to play Mega Man, and Shannon rages at Team Ninja. We talk about the latest news from around the video game world and answer your questions. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
And I am tired.
It is late. We should have started the show a while ago.
Well, there is that, but...
We've all been busy today, too, so...
it's been a day.
I don't think any of us sat down for many hours.
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
So, well, I don't know about Shannon. Shannon, were you super busy today like everybody else?
Yeah, we did a lot of yard work. We laid 2 yards worth of mulch around the house and did some grading out on the back side of the house because we're going to lay some concrete pavers tomorrow. So, it was a busy day.
Yeah, I had to help move some stuff into a storage building and put some shelves together at my mother-in-law's house. But I got free pizza out of it, so...
Nice.
Hey, that was worth it.
Yeah, so... But now, it's time to record a podcast. And Shannon, since you were gone last week, you get to go first this week. What have you been playing?
I have still been playing Dead or Alive 6.
Okay.
I am a little bummed out at this point. So I've got mixed emotions, because the game is good. It plays really well. I'm still enjoying it a whole heck of a lot. I am refining my level of Christie play to the point where I'm hoping that when Team Ninja eventually gets around to adding lobby play, because for some reason
is that still not in the game?
It's still not in the game.
Wow.
I still can't play with Shelby. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's good news.
What's that?
The free-to-play version's out now.
I know, that was going to be the next thing on my list. They released the free-to-play version of Dead or Alive 6 before they got lobby play into the paid version of Dead or Alive 6.
What does the free-to-play version have in it?
Free-to-play version comes with 4... It's called Dead or Alive 6 Core Fighters. It comes with a handful of stages, so I think only 3 or 4 stages, and 4 characters. You get you get Kasumi, Ayane, and the 2 ninja dudes. I can't remember. Ryu and the other one.
Who used to be Ein. I can't think of his name now.
Tim. I have no idea.
But yeah, you get those 4 fighters. I have not... I mean, at this point, because of the way they handled the free-to-play version, they did the same thing they did with Dead or Alive 5 on Xbox One, where the digital purchase of the full game is really just getting you the core fighters and then all of the unlocks for the free-to-play version of the game. So even though I bought the full retail copy of Dead or Alive 6 on the digital storefront for Xbox One, when they released the free-to-play version, now instead of the tile saying Dead or Alive 6 on my home screen, it says Dead or Alive 6 Core Fighters, and when I launch it, it then shows me that I have everything unlocked. So, yeah, kind of bummed out about that. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them not adding in lobby play. I'm still amazed that lobby play was in the demo before launch, and everything just feels really rushed and kind of haphazardly put together. Even though the game looks great, plays great, that one piece of it just, I don't know what.
That's really kind of disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know Shelby said he finished playing story mode last week and hasn't touched the game all week, just because we don't have the ability to play together. And that's where the majority of the fun in fighting games comes from, is you get to play with your friends.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll get that in there eventually. In the meantime, one thing that is cool is when they did the Core Fighters thing and updated the game, they did fix a lot of the costume unlock mechanics. Because essentially because the way that it works in Dead or Alive is every time you finish something, like going through a run of arcade mode or going through these the Dead or Alive quest missions or finishing a ranked match, you'll earn parts of costumes. So it'll say you earned 30 out of 150 pieces for this particular costume for this particular character. And for the first 2 weeks, it was just giving you random chunks of pieces for a completely different character every time. So even though I'm playing with Christy all the time, I may get a piece for Kokoro, I may get a handful of pieces for Lisa, I may get some pieces for Ayane. It was never consistent. With this update, now I'm getting pieces for the fighter that I'm using rather than random. So that's nice.
Considering how much DLC costume stuff they have with that game for all those different characters, it's nice that you can sort of pick which ones you're wanting, because otherwise it may be weeks before you would ever get everything you needed for one character.
Right. And one of the cool things though is, like, with DLC costumes, if you do pay money for a costume, you do have it immediately. You don't have to go through the process of unlocking parts for it.
Yeah.
It's just for the content that's there in the game to begin with. Each character has 2 costumes available, and then a possibility of, so like with most of the male characters, they may have 4 additional costumes that you can unlock, and then the majority of the female characters may have 8 to 10 additional costumes to get. So,
Nice.
but yeah, I'm glad that that's fixed, and so eventually that streamlines the process of unlocking the costumes for everyone, because once I get all of Christie's stuff, it'll give me a reason to jump into another character I'm not as proficient with, but I want to get all the costumes. So
yeah, and then as you're working to get those costumes, potentially you're getting better using that character.
Exactly.
So it's that's actually a really nice way to do that.
Right. But
So
that's pretty much it for me, unless you guys want to talk about Gris. I'm gonna leave that one on the table. You guys choose if you wanna go with that one.
One thing, if you have the free to play version, do you still get to play with people who've bought the full version of the game?
Yes, you do.
Just
Okay.
not your friends.
Just not the people you want to play with.
Right. If the free to play version for 6 works the same way as the free to play version for 5 did, which is how Shelby and I played 5 leading up to this. He had the full retail version of the game, and I downloaded the Core Fighters. I was unable to select stages beyond the 4 that were available to me, or characters beyond what was available to me. However, if it was Shelby's turn to pick a stage, he could pick a stage that I didn't have, and we would still load into it. He could pick characters that I didn't have, and I could still fight him. I think they even had ranked mode unlocked in the Core Fighters thing, so the only things that were hidden behind a paywall were story mode, arcade mode I think was behind a paywall, as well as any additional characters or costumes. So,
Well, I might look into that free to play, the Core Fighters version of that, because I like DOA, but I know it's a game series I'm not ever going to put a ton of time to. But there are some times that I, thought, I'd like to play, especially if I have friends who have the game. If we can play together, I'd be more interested in playing that for a little while.
Right, and Core Fighters is available right now on PS4. Xbox One, and PC through Steam. So, 3
Okay.
ways to get it, 3 ways to play.
Sounds good. All
That's
right.
it for me.
All right, Ethan, I guess that means you're...
Yay! So, finished Devil May Cry 5. Good game. Probably should tell people to go play that. Capcom. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about it because of spoilers. So instead, I went and played a different game, but I can't talk about that because Jason's the one reviewing it, and I don't want to get in the way of that game being Baba Is You, which is actually out now on Steam and Switch. I think $15. Good game.
I think so.
Yep. And we've been streaming it, and I kind of found out we streamed something we weren't supposed to, so sorry about that one.
Ooh.
Anyway, what I did play that I will talk about is Mega Man Battle Network. This is a Game Boy Advance game.
You've had some drama with the game this week.
Oh yeah, it was going great. Started the game up, went through the tutorial stuff, learned how to play the game, fought the first boss fight on there. Everything's going great, and then I got a game over.
Okay, and that happens.
Yeah, not a big deal, but we're talking... what year did this game even come out? Game Boy Advance, so...
It's been a while.
I might have been in high school, probably. I don't know. But, so we're talking a fairly old RPG on a portable system that requires you to save so you can continue from your save.
Yes.
And the only save I had was right before you leave the starting area. So I would have to go all the way to school to the tutorial level again, do all that fun stuff. It was basically all I did was read a little bit of text at the start of the game. That's it. So that hour and a half of gameplay I had just thrown away.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
And that's that moment you're like, okay, yeah, I'd like to play this game, but yeah, that's not happening.
The sad part is it's all on stream.
Which I think is still available for people to watch if they're curious.
Yeah, it should be up there for like another month or so.
Yeah.
And most of that footage will probably be, or part of that footage will be here in the stuff that I'm talking about right now anyway, so enjoy that. I did try to play some other games just because I was streaming at the time, and it's like, well, I need to fill some space here. Jason recommended I play what his nephew calls the Hummingbird game. I've already forgotten the name, but it's actually a Sega 32X game where you play as a hummingbird. You fight bugs with your alien crystal powers.
I've never seen a hummingbird use alien powers before.
Neither have I, but this was a game I just happened to have installed on the thing I was using. And there is that is probably the most accurate description of that game I can give it. It is weird. So, yeah. I guess that's it for me.
Are you gonna go back to Mega Man at some point?
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to where I was at on there. I'm not gonna do it on stream because it was very shameful.
Just make sure you save when you get there.
I'm gonna start using save states just so I can do a quick save on there. My gosh, man, that was
Yeah.
I will use save states to do some other stuff on there, but not cheating. That's what the regular saves are for.
Okay. You're gonna cheat with the regular game, not with your save states.
Exactly.
Makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
Tony, what have you been playing?
Let's see what I've been playing. Not the game I should be playing. And that's Monster Hunter. I didn't play any Monster Hunter this week.
Aw.
That's not true. I did play one mission.
Mm-hmm.
I went out, tried to do a little bit of the single player stuff, and was escorting some people who were pushing cart.
Shannon, he did that mission.
And I ran up and saw a Raytheon, and I said, I don't want to fight that thing. But I think I died, like, right after I saw it. It saw me, started flying straight at me, and I couldn't get out of the way fast enough, and it killed me very quickly. So I carted, went back to the home base, and managed to figure out how to get where I was supposed to go without going through that part of the map again. And got back up with the people on the cart, found out I was supposed to hunt a bear.
Yep.
And didn't do so well. My Monster Hunter skills are a little rusty, so I failed that mission. While the monster was very close to death.
Don't feel bad. I think I failed that mission the first time too.
So I need to go back and do that mission again. I should probably upgrade my equipment just a little bit. I don't think I've done that since I started the game. Aside from that first time that it lets you do it. So I'll do that, get into some Monster Hunter this week. But what I've spent most of my time on, working on this for review, RBI Baseball 19 on the Switch.
Okay.
Which I think is the 6th edition of RBI Baseball since it's been rebooted. These are being developed by Major League Baseball, I believe. And I've played the last 4 for sure. It is very different from the big baseball game on the scene, which is the show, which is Sony exclusive. You can't play that anywhere else. So this is the only way that I know of that you can really play licensed Major League Baseball. It is an arcade style baseball game, not a simulation style baseball game like the show. And I'm of two opinions on the game. It is getting better year over year. The game improves slightly every year. It's still not a great baseball game. It's a good baseball game. And if you're playing on the Switch or you're playing on the Xbox and it's the only baseball game that you have available, then it's probably worth the $30 that it costs to pick up. I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying it. But there's still some things that need to be worked on before it is a great baseball game that I would recommend wholeheartedly. The on-the-field stuff mostly is really good. Batting feels really good. The fielding, for the most part, feels really good. The one thing that really is holding this game back for me from being a really, really good baseball game is the pitching mechanics, because they have not changed that much since the game got rebooted and have never liked the pitching mechanics in the game. With RBI Baseball, you basically have 3 pitches that you can throw. You can throw a fastball, you can throw a normal speed pitch, or you can throw a slow pitch. And that's it. There's no curveballs, no knuckleballs, no sliders, none of that stuff. It is just fast, medium, or slow. And you pick where left or right in the strike zone that you want. There's no up or down to worry about. And the pitching mechanics have never been good. And I've actually talked to a member of the development team about this game, and that's the one thing he has been recommending as well to the team. but that's the one thing they really, really need to work on. Other than that, some small presentation issues that I think, if they got worked out, could really improve the experience. It's not anything that hurts the play on the field. It's just some things that would make the game feel a little better. The announcer is pretty boring. He basically just calls, ball strike, foul, out,
Aw.
safe. There's no
Just a bit outside.
yeah, there's nothing like that you would want to see from the presentation in the announcing. I think that needs to be improved. I'd like to see a character creator uh, so that you can create your own player that you would put in the game. Um, maybe like a mode where if you create a character, the only thing you play in the game is the things that involve that character. So at bats for your player, defensive plays that involve your player. So like if you play second base, any ground balls to second base, double plays, things like that would speed up the game. It takes between 30 and 45 minutes right now to play a regular 9-inning baseball game, which is not terrible. But baseball seasons, if you want to play every game, are really, really long. 162 games is a lot to ask somebody to play. Luckily, you can simulate a lot of those if you want. So if you want to play the first game in a series and then let the computer simulate the other 2 or 3 games, you can do that. But I'm the type of person who really likes to play every game, and so getting through a regular season, I either have to sort of suck it up and let the computer play more than half the games if I want to make it through an entire season, or it takes a very, very long time. Other than that, there's small little graphical things that I think could be improved. There's a lot of times I saw the ball, like if an infielder threw the ball to first base, the animation for the ball would go past the first baseman, and then the camera would suck back over to the first baseman, and the play would be called out. The runner would be called out or something like that. So
What?
it initially looked like you made an error, and that's not the case. Other little things like animations really look weird to me. Everybody looks like they're in a hurry, so they always throw the ball very, very quickly. Outfielders throw the ball sidearm, like they're throwing the ball from second base to first base. Runners, you'll occasionally see the runner slide along the ground rather than run on the ground. And so little things like that. It's basically at this point mostly minor things, I think, that are keeping the game from being really, really good. They still have the home run derby mode. They have a couple different modes where you can play full seasons. You can play multi-year dynasty type modes. You can just go straight to the playoffs. Those things are really good. They're really nice. I think the different modes that they have for you are really good. I think the only thing I would add would be things like the career mode where you play as one player throughout the thing. Most of the action on the field is really good. I really like that stuff, but at $30, there's still some things that really need to be improved before I could recommend the game wholeheartedly to people. But for the most part, it feels really nice. I don't have any major issues with the game outside of the pitching mechanics. So if you're on Switch, you're looking for a baseball game, check it out. It might be something that you'd be interested in if you can get over some small presentation issues. But if you're on like PlayStation, I think the show is still the best game out there if you want a really good baseball game. I'm hoping that with RBI 20, when they finally do bring that out next year, they've addressed some of these issues, and I can finally say yes, RBI baseball is a game you should definitely play. because I like it. I want to really, really like it, but at this point, it's a good game, not a great game. So, but there you go. Other than that, I haven't really been playing much worth talking about. So let's take a quick break. We will come back and we will talk about the news. All right, guys. So in the news this week, we've got a couple of things to talk about. The first, I know, Ethan, you're very excited about this. There's a big update coming to No Man's.
The big update for No Man's Sky. You just hear the excitement that doesn't exist in my voice.
Very excited about this.
So I'm kind of excited for No Man's Sky getting another update.
I actually am too, and they actually teased, I think, 3 big updates that are coming to the game. The first one is the bundle of content is called No Man's Sky Beyond. It will be 3 separate updates. The first one that we know about is being called No Man's Sky Online, which they're saying includes new social and multiplayer experiences, which empower players in the universe to meet and play together.
That's cool.
So, aside from that, we don't really know much of what is going to be in these updates. But it does seem like they're still trying really hard to get people very interested in that game. And I know, Ethan, when we heard this news come out, we actually talked about this for a little while. I'm actually more and more getting interested in at least checking the game out. It's still like $15 if you buy the game physically. So that's at that price point where I'm like, for $15, I'd be interested in checking this game out.
So here's the deal. I approached No Man's Sky the same way I looked at Lego Worlds, which is go into it with the idea that it's just going to be a time sink and just enjoy whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
I played it, I think, for about 2 or 3 weeks straight early last year when it got that big update, and I think it came to Xbox One. Like, it got a huge update in 2018 and came to Xbox One. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll. I think I had picked it up when it was like $10 or something, when it was real cheap, and never bothered to mess with it. The game is pretty good. It doesn't have much of a story, but it's still fun to just go and explore and see what you can find. So,
yeah, and that's the one thing that sort of appeals to me is that exploration aspect of it. But I wonder how quickly the appeal of that would wear off.
2 planets in.
So I know some of the creative stuff my kids would probably really enjoy. But I would be afraid that it would have the same sort of problem that I have with Minecraft, where if I'm playing by myself, I get bored very easily.
Yep.
But playing with other people could be interesting, but I'm not sure how easy that is to do.
Yeah, I don't know either.
If they make lobbying or some sort of matchmaking in here to where you can just jump into your friend's universe, that would be excellent. Especially if it works in the same semi-seamless way that games like Forza Horizon 4 does. I mean, Ethan, when we sit down and play and you jump into our world, it's not just you, Shelby, and I playing. It is the 3 of us playing in a shared world with 21 other people. I think it's 24, 27 people in a single server all at one time.
Yeah.
So you get that social interaction, and it kind of justifies going in, even if you're not going to go and do a bunch of races, just going in, driving around, and screwing around. It's fun.
Yeah.
So if they can do something to that extent, in No Man's Sky, or maybe that's already there and I just never dug far enough to get there. But I don't know. I if one of you guys is willing to pick it up, I'd definitely be willing to jump back into it. I had fun. I would love to play with more people.
I own the game, Shannon.
Well, we need to play.
Ha 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 ha.
And
I'm not laughing. I'm being serious. We need to play.
at $15, I could be convinced to pick up the game. So
It's $15 pre-owned, according to what you sent me, but $10 new.
no, it was cheaper. Oh, was that what it was? I think
Yeah.
maybe that's
New $9.97. Pre-owned $14.99. Digital
Oh,
$59.99.
I need to find a new copy from GameStop so I can get it for $10, and that's even better. So at
Or you
$10, I could really be interested in the game.
If you can find it at Best Buy will price match GameStop. So
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna wait for this update to come out and see exactly what this update is. If this is an update that makes it easier to play with friends online, it might be the time for me to go ahead and pick up the game. So, especially if there's those two other big updates coming after that, we'll see what happens. The other big news: Microsoft this week announced that Halo is getting some more games on PC.
More games on PC?
Halo Reach and the entire Master Chief Collection are or will be available on. They will be available on Microsoft Store and Steam.
Sweet.
So that is Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, ODST, Halo 4, and Reach.
Had a lot of fun playing Halo CE back in my first semester of college.
Yeah.
Just the modding alone in that game was fun. Driving the Warthog around, it had the Starsky and Hutch paint job on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Reach is the only one that I've played all the way through.
Reach was good. I like that.
That's the one that starts with your character dying, right?
No.
Because it shows your helmet, basically.
Yes, you die at the end of Reach.
Maybe that, because it started with that, then it went back and showed you what happened to get to that point, which is the end of the game, basically.
It's the one game where you don't play as Master Chief, but you see him in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only one that I played all the way through.
It's more like, here's how Cortana got here.
So, well, if this week we find out that I'll be able to play Halo on the...
Okay.
Because I'm still not going to buy an Xbox to play, games, and Halo won't play on my PC.
That's fair.
But I'd like to. I think, like to play through those games.
I think it'd be cool if they threw in the crossplay.
Yeah, that would be cool. But those games will be available on PC. Halo Reach will launch later this year, and will include Forge and some of the other multiplayer content if you own the Master Chief Collection. So, and they're promising 60 frames per second and 4K HDR support for Halo Reach as well.
Practically spoiling us.
So, there's not enough of those. And then we got a couple teases possibly for games coming to the Switch this week. Behemoth put out a teaser on Twitter showing 4 Nintendo Joy-Cons in 4 different colors. And people very quickly realized that those 4 colors were the 4 colors of the main characters from Castle Crashers. Which means
that's cool.
Behemoth could be teasing Castle Crashers coming to the Switch at some point.
So they put out a Castle Crashers remastered on Xbox One, which added online play because
Yeah.
originally Castle Crashers was couch co-op only.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would probably buy it again on Switch just to have tabletop 4-player as an option. That sounds like a fun time. Take it
That
over.
would be crazy fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time. So good on them.
So, yeah. Castle Crashers. We are getting close to PAX. That's coming up in the next few weeks. So we could see some new stuff being announced for Switch around that time. But then also, Gearbox put out an image on Twitter this week showing a screenshot from Borderlands, and fans quickly realized that that was an image from Borderlands 2, which means they're possibly thinking of putting that game out on another platform, and I think at this point the only platform that game is not available on is the Switch.
Yeah.
So they are either teasing a possible port of Borderlands 2 for the Switch, or maybe that's just a complete misdirection, and we could be getting something completely new announced for Borderlands.
Tales from the Borderlands 2.
So, Borderlands just recently came out in VR. So maybe Labo will get Borderlands.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know that would work. I don't know. I guess we'll see. So GDC is this week, so we could see maybe something new for PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch this week. Does anybody know when PAX is? I don't remember. I don't remember the dates right off the top of my head. I know we're not too far. I'm trying to look it up right now. March 28th through the 31st. So we're just a couple weeks away from PAX in Seattle.
I was kind of stuck on a search for Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.
What are you looking for?
Oh, it's a conversation between me and Jason the other day.
Oh. Okay. Are either of you guys interested in Borderlands on the Switch?
Not really.
No?
Nah.
I like the series better on PC. I've tried to play the PS3 version of 1, and I didn't like it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Do you just like the mouse and keyboard controls for that game?
It was something to do with mouse and keyboard controls. I had such a hard time trying to just shoot anything. I couldn't line up anything to keep my guy alive.
I know, like, if Borderlands had split screen support on the Switch, I would be very interested in that. Because we've been talking about playing Borderlands around the house, but we tried on PlayStation Now, and either we couldn't get it to work, or we would have to have two separate systems that have PlayStation Now to be able to set up the multiplayer properly, because it involved logging into two different PS3 accounts at the same time and having one invite the other player, and I didn't think that was possible to do on one system. It was a really weird way to have to try to get two people to play split screen on one system.
Yeah, it's always been weird on PlayStation 3 doing that.
Yeah, and this was the PS3 version of the game that we were trying to play, because it was the only one available on PlayStation Now. But if that had easy split screen support on the Switch, I'd be interested in checking that out. Because I've not played through Borderlands 2. I've only played through Borderlands 1, and I've done that a couple of different times now. And I've never played the pre-sequel. So I don't know anything about that game. There you go. Unless you guys have any other news, that will be the show for this week. We don't have any listener feedback for this week, so get us your questions for next week's show. We would be very happy to answer those for you on the show. But thank you, Shannon, for being on the show this week.
Pleasure as always.
And Ethan, thank you.
This Darmok and Jalad shirt is just Picard rocking out.
If you want to reach out to us, we have tons of new ways to do so. You can email us at podcast@procgent.com. That's PROCGENT.com. You can send us a voicemail if you want by clicking on the voicemail link on the right side of the website. You can send us voicemails up to 90 seconds in length, and we'll play those on future episodes of the show and respond to the questions that you have. If you like what we do here, you can now support us on Patreon, patreon.com/pgint. Patreon supporters will get a video version of the podcast a day early. These will normally go out on Tuesdays. Patreon supporters will get them on Monday. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel that we've got and see the content we've got going on up there. And then we still do have the Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.